Hello, everyone. Just a split second of carelessness can change everything on the street in unexpected ways. When impatience overrides reason, unbelievable situations begin to unfold one after another. Join me as we look back at these tense and surprising moments, where every action quickly led to clear consequences. Respecting other people's space and boundaries is always the safest way to avoid unnecessary conflict.
Hey, we recording it. Let it hit you first. It's all good.
Not every situation requires an immediate reaction. Sometimes silence and restraint are the true victory. The sedan driver thought a few shouts and a quick charge would help him overpower the situation, but ultimately received a lesson in applied physics faster than his anger could have gotten the better of him. Staying calm is always the safest and smartest choice when driving. He thought he was a street lawyer, but the police didn't need to defend him. Just following the law was enough to pass the trial. Calmly walking away is always the wiser option, because the price of impulsiveness is sometimes far higher than the momentary ego. He thought he'd saved himself a few steps to the trash can, but instead, he had to spend many times more effort cleaning up the mess. In a fit of rage, he rushed out of the car with great confidence, but a few seconds later had to completely adjust his demeanor.
Чё хочу?
Извините, извините.
Ты что ли?
В смысле, это свои были?
Я понял, заебал.
Dude, get the hell out of the road.
One might think that a few provocative actions would scare
There's a
others,
bike lane.
but sometimes the most powerful trigger is the consequence.
Get out of the road.
Next time I'm running you over.
Sometimes, it's better to hold back a little than to pay the price with anger. Calmness is always the winning strategy. If you find these situations both funny and educational, please subscribe so we have the motivation to make more interesting videos. She walked in with an "nobody can control me" energy. But seconds later, she switched to an extremely rapid attitude update mode. The man let his anger get the better of him behind the wheel. And just minutes later, everything turned into a lesson no one wants to experience. Learning to stay calm on the road is always a wise choice. Respecting others is always the simplest way to avoid unnecessary conflicts.
Excuse me? You talking about my man? Oh, you the hoe that's
Touching something that doesn't belong to you is always a bad idea, especially when consequences often act faster than the speed of escape.
Just let her look in there.
Some people believe that simply acting quickly is enough, but they forget that consequences often come just as fast as greed. Staying calm is always a smarter choice than violence, because only those who control their emotions are truly strong. Respecting others while driving is the best way to avoid unnecessary and dangerous situations.
Vai, trouxa.
In your opinion, who is at fault in this situation? Comment number 1 if you think the sedan driver is at fault. Staying calm is always a wiser choice than acting impulsively, because the consequences of anger often last much longer than fleeting emotions. Resisting the police doesn't make you stronger. It only makes the original problems bigger and much harder to solve. Respecting your own safety is far more important than a few seconds of standing out from the crowd.
No way, Dozer.
Not everything that's free is worth trying,
On the bike right
especially when the final price turns out to be much higher than initially imagined.
Oh, he just bounced. Mikey bounced, and then as a Lamborghini goes by. As a Lamborghini.
The shortest path isn't always the smartest. Sometimes it's just a shortcut that leads directly to a bigger problem. She thought she had the right to take up extra space for her bag and prevent others from sitting, but ultimately, she was the one who had to leave the plane for unreasonable behavior.
So that I can be having the best flight possible and people not disappointing me.
Well, just let the guy take his seat.
Yes, ma'am, this
Thank
is the
you.
seat. He does have a ticket. I'm gonna need to ask you to remove your bag from the seat so he can sit down.
Thank you.
Are you serious?
Yes, yes.
Are you serious?
Okay, so
serious.
fine.
Don't touch my purse.
Yeah, let me
You need to
see.
talk.
Can you like relax? Oh my
Real
God.
money
I'll
in first class.
Yeah, I know. I
It's
just
like
need to
for the
not
rest
be
of
like-
them. If you don't calm down, I'm gonna ask you to leave. I'm calm down.
You're
I'm
not
calm.
calm.
What are you talking about? I have paid good money. Time for you to go. Come on.
Yeah, get her out of here.
You don't have time for this. I don't know.
Guys, go.
Okay, but please don't touch me. Don't touch me.
Okay,
Off you go. Come on, bye.
get out of here. Yeah, you're right.
Careful driving means knowing how to control your emotions before controlling the steering wheel. He thought he was looking for someone to confront, but instead, he accidentally signed up for an intensive anger management course. Showing off your reckless driving on the highway might sound cool, but in reality, it's the quickest way to turn your trip into a long list of traffic fines. There are actions that seem like they're just for fun, but are enough to make you the target of consequences soon after. Don't let a few seconds of anger ruin your image, because calmness always makes a person look much stronger. The pickpocket thought he had acted cleverly enough to avoid detection, but the camera was secretly recording the entire professional performance.